that too tight, Jerry? And she said, I'm so sorry, I have to do this. And then they took them off, put shackles on me, and they were pink. And I said, you know what? I don't want no pink shackles on me. I said, any color but pink, you know? And they said they were orange. I was joking. But I told the detective for 3.5 hours I'd been in a damn room with surveillance cameras on me and a walkie-talkie, and told him, I said, the same what Minsky said. And I had another guy one time try to steal a bicycle down here. This is our community, guys. And I rode my bicycle down to go inside my place because it's quicker. And as I'm inside, I see this guy grab my bike and throw it in the back of a truck. Yeah, I jumped out, grabbed him. I said, I'm not going to talk out here because there's ladies. I got my bicycle back. I didn't have a gun on me that day. I just didn't realize I had murder in my eyes. I go to the junkyard, the scrap yard the next day, and the bicycles that were in the back other than mine were there at the scrap yard. These scrap yards, we need to talk to Mrs. Wynn that was here last month. I need her number, by the way. We're going to talk to David Haley, and we need to talk to Pam Curtis, and we need to get a law that these scrappers, have you had anything stolen out of your yard, like a lawnmower stuff? That's where it's going. It's going to the scrap yards.
Well, listen, let me just say this. You might ride down by 11th and Everett, and those houses right there on 11th Street. There's 2 houses that face 11th Street, and they remodeled one of them. And that truck, I've seen it parked in that driveway. It may not be the same truck, but it looks like it. But so you can just ride down through there. But I'm gonna say this: you got some people who are at 11. I think it's 07 or something. It's that greenhouse right on the other side. 1109 was Miss Mason, Miss. She died. And then there was another greenhouse. Anyway, you got people there who don't have water, lights, or gas. Now, I don't know how they live without that, but they stay in there. And so, and they bury their personal movements and those kind of things. And so, I'm saying, when you see that, when people are struggling like that, they'll do pretty much a lot of anything. You know, because I've had stuff taken out of my yard. And the same thing. You know, and I saw them one time, and I got on to some of them. So, I don't know, I haven't seen the pictures that you got, but.
I went ahead and junked the stuff the next day. I got $34 out of a $500 fan. You know, I'm going to put that in a frame. Watch these people. You know, I know they're struggling, but most of these people are struggling because, you know how many people I've hired because they were struggling and they have stolen from me?
Oh, yeah.
I cannot believe how many. I was letting a man stay at my place, washing his clothes and keeping his stuff at my place.
Yeah.
And I walked out of the office one day and he stole several $100s out of my drawer.
Yeah.
I gave a woman a ride up at 17th Quindaro, and she reached around and got my wife's wallet and stole all of her driver's license, and not her driver's license, her credit cards, and spent several $100s the next day. I was giving this woman a ride, helping her out, and she robbed me. So I don't feel sorry for them.
No, you can't do all this.
I'm sorry, I'm angry. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've never been, you ever been arrested and handcuffed and shackled and put on the roof for 3.5 hours? It ain't fun. I'm sorry.
So how much did that cost?
Have you talked to the district attorney about that?
No, I am on the police advisory board, by the way, not police, I'm on the district attorney's advisory board. I had 2 police officers come by and say they were sorry what happened to me and they thought it was wrong. And one of them advised me to call Internal Affairs. Because I don't, you know what, I'm not upset that they arrested me. I'm really not. When I'm upset, because, you know, I understand the cop didn't know what really happened. But the idea is saying, if you drop the charges on her, we won't arrest you. That's wrong. You arrest me if I've done something wrong. And don't you say you drop the charges on her and then we won't arrest you. That is wrong. That cop was wrong. That was Detective Pewitt, by the way. But he was very nice to me afterwards, because he knew. But matter of fact, when we said it, I said, I'm going to tell you something right now. You're wrong. And when I got done, I think, I probably That's how they run things. And I am talking to Mark Dupree about it, but, you know. We gotta get the law passed, because I went to the junkyard and I showed them the photograph, and they don't care. I've been there and I've seen people, the same people going in there all the time with hot water tanks and copper wire. Well, how many people really get that many hot water tanks go bad and copper wire out of the house? I know, I've had it happen to me, where somebody moves out and they go out there and they rip the holes and they pull all the wire out of my house. Then I gotta go and put all the sheetrock. I literally had 4 rental houses in our city, guys. I sold them all for $122,000, 4 freaking houses worth $250,000 to get rid of them, because every time I turned around, somebody would break in and steal something. It's like, and I caught them before. I caught them, and guess what? I caught a guy pulling my meter, and I called the cops. He says, well, he didn't get nothing. He claimed the meter fell out when he walked by. That's what they told me. That's Wyandotte County.
I think that's the same story with the pawn shops. People steal stuff at pawn. But I believe they passed a law where they take stuff in, especially the junkyards, they have to register, you have to sign it. Like especially wiring and stuff like that, because there's still a lot of wiring on.
Go down there tomorrow. You do have to give them your license, driver's license, that they don't, I guarantee it, I know these guys are thieves. I know these people. And I see them there going, I had a guy come by one time, I'm telling you, and I called the cops, they didn't do nothing. Cops are only good for writing police reports, that's all they're good for, by the way. But he asked me if I had a come along. I said, for what? He said, well, I don't know where this wire's at. And I said, I need a come along to pull it out of the pipe. Yeah, I'm serious. And I said, well, where do you sell it at? Well, he said, man, it's right across the river, man, it's 80 cents a pound. And I was like, yeah, he was on a bicycle. Like, I mean, I can go on, but we only have an hour, so anyhow, it needs to stop.
It's very unfortunate.
It needs to stop.
I wouldn't know where to begin to.
Well, Wynn and David Haley, when I went there to the scrapyard and showed them, they absolutely don't care. They need these people. They need them, because without them, they don't get the scrap.
That's true.
So, but what we need to do is, you got somebody coming in here, first of all, they need a background check to see they're not a felon. This one guy here is a felon. A girl, I couldn't find anything on her yet, but I will. If they are a felon, or they get any type of theft, they should not be able to scrap. And the same people going in there day after day with scrap. You gotta drive down there sometime. There's people with huge rolls of wire. I was at Asner's years ago, and Asner's is a big one over in Missouri. They had a huge roll that's like 8 foot tall that was full of electric wire from a BPU or something, and they were cutting it in 1 foot lengths, or 2 foot lengths. Now you tell me why they're cutting a great big roll of 2 foot lengths. They know it's stolen. But there's no serial number, so they don't care. Whatever. We need a law. And I hate laws, but that's a law we need. Anyhow, that's enough.
Okay. We have our guest speaker here, Francis Bradley Robinson, my classmate, longtime friend, and most of us
Our
know her.
classmate.
Yes.
What school do you go to?
The best.
We have our treasurer's report, the treasurer's report.
Oh, are you ready for the report?
Did they pass them out?
Yeah, we have them.
Okay. Excuse me, Francis, with the treasury report first.
Okay, we have the balance brought forth in the February meeting of $1,146.66. Dues were $80, making a total of $1,226.66. We had disbursements of $89.56, leaving a balance of $1,137.10. Our BPU grant summary is $691.60, and and we had on the books another neighborhood assistant for $17.21. And then we had one for $500 in 2017, making a total of $1,208.81. And total all account is $2,345.91.
Okay, is there any questions?
There was no interest for.
I hadn't gotten a bank statement.
Oh,
they usually come at the end of the month. For some reason, I didn't get this last one. It's been running like 19 cents or 5 cents or something. It's not a lot of money, and I know that's the reason why my balance in the last bank statement was off a few pennies. It was because of that interest.
Yeah, very acceptable. May I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
I move that we approve the treasury report.
Second motion.
Second. Motion is Robin, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Motion is carried. Treasurer's report is approved. And now we go to our guest speaker. Francis, you have the floor.
Well, okay, I'd like to thank Rosalind for the invitation to speak. And following, it's a hard act to follow because I'm just gonna talk about a book.
First of all, I'd like to say, I'm sorry I talked out of turn, and I know, but, well, I am sorry, but the thing is, I did want to do it before Kaminsky because I've already complained on him twice, and, you know, I don't want to get a ticket, go to jail for not fastening my seatbelt. But anyhow, if you're an author, I'm a big reader, so go ahead.
Well, I guess, and thank you for allowing me to speak. I'm glad it's kind of informal here. And I guess I'll start by saying that I do have a connection to Struggle Seal. My parents built their home at the corner of 12th and Everett, at 1201 in 1931, which is almost is more than 85 years ago. And they lived there together until 1975 when my father passed. And then, because my mother's health was not she was not in the best of health, we moved her to Omaha, Nebraska to live with my husband and I. My husband had been transferred there with Standard Oil. And that's when we sold the house to Mayday Waters, and I think they've had several residents, people who have lived in there since Mayday Water. And so I would just say it's kind of like coming back home again. So to be here, okay. So, but Rosalind asked me to talk about I would say my new book, but it's my only book. And I waited until I'm 100 years old to write a book, and you can see how big it is. It's actually just a memoir, and it's titled From Stress to Blessed. And I guess I could ask people what would be your definition of stress. And you've just given us quite a bit there.
You know, Wyandotte County.
Right. But I start off by saying that, we have stresses on a daily basis. But my daughter asked me to write about my situation with severe, I had breast cancer. And she wanted me to write something in a newsletter because she teaches at a local health club, and she just wanted me to write something. But at the time, I couldn't even write my name crap. I just couldn't get my thoughts together. I was just kind of under stress. And so, but when I finally did get my thoughts together, I decided to write about a series of stressful situations that I had within an 18-month period. I have stresses every day. Everybody has stresses every day. Okay, this is nothing unusual. But in 18 months, I had, first of all, my husband passed. So that was stressful, dealing with that and, making funeral arrangements and all of that. I'll go through the 6 things and then kind of elaborate a little bit on them. My husband passed, that was number 1. Number 2, I was diagnosed with cancer, which is stressful. Then my 3rd was going through the treatments, and then I moved out of my home that I'd been in for over 25 years. And then I surgery, and then I actually self-sold my home. That's supposed to be 6, not 7, but it's only 6, because I can't count. Okay, so starting with my husband, of course, he had been diagnosed with, he had been on palliative care, which is another word for, anyways, palliative. But when, of course, when he passed, that was stressful. You never expect it. And so, dealing with that, I'm more than stressed, angry, I was the whole, I just couldn't understand why the world is treating me so bad. And then, so after that, then I realized, on a daily basis that out of that stress, I was blessed to have been, married to and have many pleasant memories, and I try to focus on the fact that we did have a very good life together. And so from that stress, I went to blessed in not being angry anymore, but actually, realizing that I was blessed to have those memories. Okay, then when I was then about 6 months after, maybe not even that, 4 months after he passed, I was diagnosed with the cancer. Well, I was diagnosed, but even up to then, I'd been, I felt physically ill and mentally stressed and all that anyway. So when I finally went for a checkup, that's when they discovered a lump and went through tests, the electrocardiogram, EKG, I don't know, sonograms, the mammogram sonograms, all of that. And the problem was I kept it all to myself because I used to be a very private person, and I guess I kind of still, I don't like to talk about myself, but anyway, yes, ma'am, okay. Anyway, but I didn't want anyone to know what I was going through, not even my daughter, because she had just lost her father, so I didn't want